Shabbat Shalom. Parashat Balak, really loud? Okay. Parashat Balak actually offers us a very interesting perspective on us, the Israelite, the Jewish people, because it's looking from the outside. When you think about the King Balak, he is looking at us, he hears that the people of Israel are arriving, there's all of these stories, what they've done, and he is worried. Because that's the story from the outside. What's the story of the outside about the people of Israel now? When you look at CNN, BBC, New York Times, what's the story about us? What's the story when you go on Columbia University, when you go to Cambridge in Europe? What's the story from the outside? How does people view us? Because we are the mighty nation, the colonizing, we love to hurt people. That's the big story. I hope that you're not only listening to those things, because I'm here today, in some sense, to remind us, like Micah that you mentioned, who we really are, and to leave aside what they think about us, or to understand why they think the way they think. If you just look at the story of the Exodus of Egypt, if this is the story that they tell everyone, they come and said, look, the army of Egypt is destroyed. The firstborn of the Egyptians is killed. Look at these people. Look at the awful things that they do. But nobody tells the story that when Moses came to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, if you just let them go, nothing of this would happen. This, he didn't tell them. So people think about the people of Israel and who we are, that we love war, that we love killing, that what we do is coming from this place. Which is unfortunate because they don't ask where it's coming from and why we're doing it. But today I didn't come to talk about what they think about us or how they view us and all of this stored information that you hear in the media that sometimes actually make us feel like, if they're saying this, is this true? And very often I feel lots of people that I talk to in the community, they think that these are the things, this is what the IDF soldiers like doing, which is like my niece's nephew. I used to be one. This is like what we learn and teach from a young age. Today, actually, I wanted to talk about hope. I wanted to talk about good things, to remind us about all the wonderful things that are taking place and who we are proud to be, and maybe offer a few things for the future. So this is a new report or a book that's called "Bamakom Hanamuch Ba'olam Tzomachat Tikva." In the lowest place on earth, hope is rising. And it's metaphorically and also physically. Where is the lowest place on earth? The Dead Sea. How many of you visited the Dead Sea? Many of you. For those of you that didn't visit the Dead Sea, can somebody that was at the Dead Sea explain, when you get there, what do you experience? Anyone? Floating at the sea, okay. Hot, salty, but the area also, the region, is it like a big city? It's hustling, bustling like Tel Aviv? What is it? Almost no life, arid, very. So it's a place that actually, when you think about hope, we call the Dead Sea. It's like there is no life. But something very special happened there since October. On October 7, as we all know, 41 weeks ago, 41 Shabbatot, the Hamas terrorists invaded Israel. They murdered, killed, slaughtered over 1,500 people. They captured 250 hostages and burned so many houses. And many of those people had to flee. Some of the other people had to flee. About 250,000 Israelis had to flee from their home in the southern part of Israel and also from the north. But 250,000 people on Shabbat morning or afternoon left their houses, sometimes only with their pajamas, with nothing. But what happened at that specific moment? People all over Israel realized we need to do something and support them and help them. Also, our community did this. We sent diapers and other things, like Hadassah organized this, and later on letters, and some of our members later on went to volunteer. And in Israel, so many people opened their houses. They drove soldiers to go to the south and to the north and to help. People cooked food. People went to help. This is who we are as people. We help. We take care of each other. My friend Yara, so actually to the Dead Sea, one of the community that was taken to the Dead Sea Hotel was the community from Kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri lost 101 people on that Shabbat morning. 32 were kidnapped. 11 of them are still in Gaza. 31 first responders were killed that day at Kibbutz Be'eri. 340 terrorists actually invaded this kibbutz. And this kibbutz was taken to the Dead Sea, to the David Hotel. When you think about the David Spa Hotel, this is a place we go for 3 days or 5 days to enjoy and float at the Dead Sea and all of that. At that day, the hotel, buses of people that lost family member, a loved one, they were all gathered there. My friend Yara Shiloh, who will be with us actually here in August, and maybe you will have the opportunity to meet her, she took her car on October 8th and drove to the Dead Sea because she displaced people. Because taking care of our children, education, minimizing trauma, this is also part of who we are. Yes, bad things happen, but how do we minimize? How we continue with education? We have children there in this hotel that are still waiting for their fathers, but they are getting preschool education by the best and the best people. And this is a report about, and you're welcome to look later, and David mentioned that I also started a podcast about education in time of war, and actually interview in English the author of this book. So there is lots of hope, lots of amazing people that care about education, care of our children, that we're not giving up even in this time. This is who we are. I also visited, I'm giving some of the, I'm like the meragel, like the coming back from Israel, like the spy coming and sharing also some good things, about good things that are happening to remind us. I visited my friend Anat Bar, that I met actually thanks to Harvey Lowell and Caroline Keller. And this is not a time of war, but she opened several centers to train educators and professionals to work with children in Tirat HaKarmel. So she hosted me, and I visited some of her centers, and I saw the dedication, the love, the passion to grow successful citizens that are caring, loving, with the same values that we read at Micah today, to remind us where we are. And I saw this amazing work. I also went to the new Israel National Library. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful building across the Knesset. The Israeli National Library actually hosts 2 pillars of artifacts. One is everything related to the Jewish people. So you can find their writing of Maimonides, of the Cairo Nizah, and everything also related to the land of Israel. So you can find there different writing of Napoleon, because when the time that he was there. Fascinating place. I had the opportunity to start with them the new archive of Jeff Hoffman from the Space Torah, and I met with him. But there are some interesting things. The building itself is phenomenal. Make sure to visit it next time you're in Israel. There are a couple of things that struck me when I was there. One, you think about all of this writing for history, but also the writing that we are still writing, the narrative that we are writing. And I'm going to share some of them in a second. When I came to the building, it was hustling, bustling, people reading, doing research. It was alive. It wasn't like a quiet library. It was packed with people. I also noticed that there is an area for educators. One room was filled with professional development for educator in Arabic. And next to it, there was professional development in Hebrew. Because in Israel, Jews and Muslims and Christians and Druze do live together, despite what we hear here in the news. And when I was there, they were sitting door next to door. Then they took me, I went on a tour with a friend, and I saw there was a house of prayer inside the library. There was Bet Knesset, a synagogue, and a mosque door next to door. These are the things you don't hear in the news. But these are the things that I saw with my eyes, and I met with these people. And this is the hope, and this is what's going on inside the country. The other thing, I was passing by Natan Sharansky. Does anyone know who Natan Sharansky is? Anyone want to say a word? Yeah. So as a teenager, I used to go with signs, Shalach et Ami, let my people go, and to see him. He became actually a Knesset member and a minister in the Knesset. It was like another reminder. Yes, let my people go and we can succeed and we can do great things and we continue. So at the library, across the street from the library is actually the Knesset. And my friend Yara said to me, let's go to the Knesset. And we did. We went inside. And I was ambivalent because I'm very disappointed, to say the least, with some of the members at the Knesset this day. At that day, it was actually surprising. 108 of them were there, because there is a big monitor that showed a picture of which group they are coming. And she took me to 2 special rooms where she go twice a week. The Committee for the Rights of Children and the Committee of Education. And maybe I was disappointed with many of the people running different things in the government, but seeing her dedication, and she's not the only one, there are so many people that care, they don't give up. And they're working very hard for our children and to continue Am Yisrael Chai, and to continue with that. I also met with my friend Noga. Noga Kochavi is working at the Ministry of Education, and she worked actually with the diaspora community. And she said to me, she has this sentence that I really like, ייאוש זה לא תוכנית עבודה, תקווה כן. Anyone want to translate? Yes. Yeah, it's not a work plan. You can't do anything. If we're just sitting and doomed, anti-Semitism and the world and everybody is thinking about this is not a plan. What are we doing? How we continue to be proud of what we do. So and then I actually, during that time, I don't know if any one of you had the opportunity when you're in Israel, every year there is a week, Shavua Sefer, a week of the book, of the Hebrew book. So I was there, and at Sarona in Tel Aviv, and there was in Jerusalem and all over, and you come, and you see so many families and people from all ages, and books and books and new books, and I couldn't stop buying. All of my suitcase was with book. It's very heavy, and so some of them, I brought, there's many books actually about October 7th, because people want to tell their stories. They don't want us to hear the story at CNN and BBC and people that tell it from an agenda or without knowing it. They are telling their story. There's for teenagers. And many of them, it's about heroism, about taking care of each other, about resilience. It's not about they came to kill us and now we're doomed. No, we lift our heads up. Kibbutz Be'eri, actually, since Kibbutz Be'eri has a print shop. And they actually, in the beginning, closed. And very fast, they said, we need to open. Some of you bought maybe the Haggadot. They made Passover Haggadah. I bought the book for Shavuot, which stories of the hostages and the food that they like for Shavuot. And they're printing, and people now buy it all over the world. So this is more children books about the Bibas children and about Israel and how they go to Nir Oz. Phenomenal stories. I'm going to have them later on. You can look at them. So for me, these are all stories of hope. And I can also tell you that those that know me for a while don't know that I always enjoy sharing Israel, Judaism, in any opportunity, not just after October 7th. Always. Like my project, the Space Torah Project, it's about an astronaut that took a Torah to space, a pioneer Jew. Because wherever we go, this Torah that we just read from, there's so much in it that we are here, I'm preaching to the choir. We know the values that are in it. We know who we are. The question is, how are we sharing it with more people? We're 2%, about 2% of American society. Most people here never met a Jew. They don't know what Judaism is. They read about us at the media. They see things at the street. It's up to us. Are we going to open Temple Emunah and invite people here? I know that I'm doing Open Sukkah, and I always bring my neighbors. I have my neighbors coming for Hanukkah, and I share with them our culture, our traditions. How do we not live parallel, like in a place like Lexington in this area? Because I find that we always live parallel. We don't really share with each other. When I came to this country 30 years ago, I lived in university housing in Wisconsin. We celebrated every holiday together, the Nowruz, and this New Year, and that, and it was fascinating. So I want just to conclude. I want to conclude with Bil'am, two of his blessings. Mevorach, Baruch, Ve'orach Arur. Those that bless you are blessed. Those that are cursing you, they will be cursed. I hope that this will come. Those that choose, I feel that we are in the side of light. Those that come and want to be with the side of light may be blessed. And with Matovu Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Israel, Ofer are your tents, or Jacob, your dwelling, or Israel. Shabbat Shalom.